What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
I love this. I just put a SoundCloud player on my website to play Fred's music. Get down. Welcome to All Gold Everything, a podcast for people who love love.
Oh, I love love.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We are recording on Wednesday night, which I guess is now officially Galentine's Day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So we're...
Because you can buy gallons of gin to drown your sorrows.
No,
because
you don't know
most
Galentine's
people
Day?
hate Valentine's Day.
No, it's because it's when you spend it with your girlfriends. It's Galentine's Day.
God.
We're having a Galentine's Day thing right now without even realizing it. It's amazing. You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're doing Galentine's Day today.
Well, happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day to you too.
It is better than a gallon of gin.
It's true.
I'll give you that. I'll give you
for
that.
so many reasons.
For so many reasons.
We came in tonight and we got into the studio and I was just saying, your skin looks amazing. You are glowing. And one of the reasons I want to talk about this is because last week I had to... Doing the podcast and being on video format, I'm going through makeup like
piles of makeup,
like never before,
piles.
And so much. And so last week I went to the MAC counter, and I was like, oh, I need to go pick up some more makeup. I'm gonna go to MAC to go get it. And I texted Sandy, what do you need? Do you need anything? And she said, yes, I actually do. What was it? What was the product that you needed?
I had to Google it to tell you what it was. What's it called?
I know what it is because I know what
it
is. It was pink. No, it was Gold Light Strobe Cream.
Yes.
Okay. So Sandy sent me this text that was like, please pick up some Gold Light Strobe Cream. Make sure it's not pink. Absolutely not pink.
No pink on me. I'm pink. I have pink undertones.
So you know what happened to me at the MAC counter was I was in there and they must have just seen like a walking dollar sign come in their door because I was basically like, I need new everything.
I need piles and piles and piles of it.
So much of it.
So many piles.
So much of it. I've never owned more lipsticks in my life. I like picked up 2 glosses on my way out because they were like half off and I felt like I was losing money if I didn't buy it. You know, I was like, yes, all this stuff. But the gal gave me a sample container of Peach Light Strobe Cream, which I have on underneath all of my foundation tonight as well. And I just want to say, like, is there anything better?
No.
This is, if you need a makeup upgrade, this is like the best thing I've ever come across.
Yeah, because we're going through a glowing trend right now.
We are. The glow trend is here.
It's important to glow. It is.
So anyway, you're dialed in. You look great. And I was thinking about that MAC trip because the other thing I did today was I went and got my brows done. So I came home after getting my brows done and my boo was like, oh, girl, your brows could like cut a bitch. They're sharp, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. And I'm happy that we are back to a period of fashion and culture where it's like cool to have eyebrows.
Yeah.
It was...
You do not like the 90s eyebrows.
I know. It was hard. It's hard for a G out there. I mean, I have big eyebrows. It really required a lot of work to make them so tiny, like in the 90s. And for me, I never went and got them done. So I'd always tweeze them and I would do the right one first and then like really putter out on. I mean, I never, it never really matched up.
I can relate.
Yeah. So I feel like I heavily over tweezed this side and then just like always went out and got drunk by the time I came around. I was always pre-gaming. So I was too drunk by the time this side came around to do much work to it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I had my brows done by a friend of ours named Rachel who works at Hairpin Salon in Northwest Portland. If you
Hey, girl.
Hey, Rachel.
I like Rachel. She's cool.
She's bomb. If you need someone, an esthetician to take care of any of your aesthetic needs. Rachel is my girl anyway. She's great. But it had me thinking about...
We have good estheticians in our life.
Maybe that's like half the battle. You know, I've been talking about aging gracefully and reversing, aging in reverse. And I've been attributing that to sobriety, but maybe it's actually that because I'm sober, I like sought out a good esthetician and now she takes care of my face.
I mean, or that we just live in the age of estheticians because
that's
our
true.
mother's generation, they didn't have the benefit. They do now. And they can look great now. Which
true.
is actually very cool, but anywho.
So I wanted to ask you, I was sitting there having my brows done today and just really loving it. And I wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite kind of like, I guess I would consider that self-care, going to like have my brows done or whatever. What's your favorite kind of like self-care thing aesthetically to have done?
Oh my gosh, probably I am. I've just started since my date of my marriage. I've started getting my brows tinted, and it's been a while.
Yeah.
But that's such a I look like a chola for like the first 3 days, but then it's like my brows are just on point. Like
They're dialed.
I get that I woke up like this feeling.
Yeah.
I like that, but I just love getting a fresh balayage from Lindsay.
Oh yeah,
Lindsay
getting your hair
Bellis at
done.
Tiger
the
Salon.
only thing I don't love about the upkeep of blonde is that it does take a whole day. It takes it's a 4 hour.
3 hours,
Yeah, 3 to 4 hour adventure.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think this is going to be that controversial, but I love getting a Brazilian.
You love getting it. See,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's go get. But the only problem is actually having to the waiting period up to it, because you do have to let it grow out for a minute before you get it done.
yeah. See, I get my brows tinted at the same time as my Brazilian.
Yeah,
I get my hairs did at the same time.
all your hair done at the same time.
And to me, it's like I would rather just sit and chat with Carly. I'm
Yeah.
like, can we just hang out and can you just not rip the hair out of my vagina, please? That'd be great.
She's so great.
Yeah.
We need to. What is her Instagram? Oh, Kiss and Makeup Artistry is Carly. She's also very good.
Yeah, like, can we just talk? Can we just talk about?
Can we just talk?
We love to talk about Bravo TV, and I just wish we could do that instead of the ripping the hairs out of my vagina part.
I have both of these things, ripping the hairs out of our vaginas and talking about Bravo, are like my next 2 items on our list.
Okay, and my butt crack.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we have someone listening to us in Las Vegas.
Oh, hi, Vegas.
Hey,
Vegas.
Ripping the hair out of our vaginas and cracks made me think of Las Vegas, and so I hope that doesn't offend you. Probably not.
It's interesting. It's an
It
interesting connection. I wondered what trauma you suffered in Las Vegas. More story. More will be revealed. But so what's happening in Vegas?
I don't know what's going on, but I just know that somebody in Las Vegas is listening to a lot of our show this week. So anyway, I want to just give them a quick shout out to say, hey, we see you. Thank you for listening. Leave us a review if you want. That would be awesome.
Put it all on black.
Put it on what?
Put it all on black.
Yeah. You mean write it down, right? Is that what that means? Put it all
It's
on.
a roulette reference.
Oh.
Put it all on black.
Oh, yes, it is. It absolutely is a roulette
I
reference.
think.
Yeah.
Unless I totally fucked it up.
No, you definitely did not fuck it up. I just
Okay.
was not tracking on that at all.
Okay.
So anyway, that was the one thing about Las Vegas. And because of that, it also reminded me that I wanted to tell our listeners that we're doing our first big PR and promotional push at the moment. So
You don't want to just pretend that we're not, it's effortless and we're just going to get all these new listens. Let's pretend it's effortless. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. We just got all kinds of new listeners because we're so dope.
I just want to say that all I want to say is I want some listeners to be on the lookout for our video. We have a 6-second YouTube video out at the moment, and it's just me and Sandy, and we filmed it kind of low key, and it's talking about the podcast. And I just feel like if you see it, and I targeted it to the entire United States. Yay! To women between the ages of 25 and 50.
They like us.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
That's true.
The Instagram tells us that those ladies like us.
We like them.
We love them.
Love them. So I just want to say it's almost like a scavenger hunt. That's kind of how I'm setting it up. If you're a listener of the show and you've never watched us on YouTube, maybe try checking us out on YouTube and see if our video comes up, our advertisement. Otherwise, and then DM us if you see it. I want someone to see it and talk to us about it.
To hear if somebody, you know what I want to happen?
What?
And this is the only reason I want somebody to tell us it happened so that we'll know it happened. I want some just random person who knows us but has lost touch to be just chilling watching Wendy Williams or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden our face pops up and they're like, holy shit! Is that Sandy? Is that I want to know when that moment happens because it will.
Yeah, if you vaguely are aware of us and you see our YouTube ad, please DM us. You can DM Sandy on Instagram at @TheRealSandyJ. You can DM me on Instagram at honeybee52. You can DM us on Instagram at all.gold.pod and let us know that you saw us because we're out there. I swear, we're we're out there.
We're creeping.
We're creeping.
Creeping up on your YouTube.
We are.
We're gonna scare you.
It's kind of even better than sliding into your DMs. We've been doing that for a while because we've been sending kind of dick pic related, not dick pic.
Yeah, this is just gonna trip you the fuck out. Why the fuck is she on my YouTube?
Because we got an ad out now. So that's what's going on. That's very exciting.
So do we also want to tell them about the drawing or yes, because this is actually super cool.
This is really cool.
We're doing a giveaway.
We're doing a giveaway.
We're giving you shit.
Yeah, we are.
This is my favorite part.
It's not our only giveaway. We'll continue to do more in the future. What's your favorite part?
No, my favorite part of like this whole like new promo push that we're doing is the giveaway. I am so freaking excited. I am loving watching people play.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Instagram, there's a lot of people playing.
Yeah.
So get in there and play because you might win.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we decide who the winner is.
We do the drawing tomorrow. We're going to draw a winner tomorrow. And that's why I'm saying this episode will drop tomorrow. So by the time they're hanging,
when you're listening, we're going to be picking a winner.
And the winner's going to get a $50 gift card to our favorite place, Adorn.
Yes.
Where they can shop either online or in person. For all of our listeners,
listen, Adorn. It's so good.
All of our listeners can use our promo code ALLGOLDPOD for a 10% discount when they shop Adorn online at www.shopadorn.com.
Yeah, and what we are wearing tonight
is from Adorn.
Yeah. And we are wintry cozy.
It's true. We are not in Mykonos this week, although we could be at the Snap.
We're fishing.
We
are on a fishing yacht.
We're not in Mykonos. We're actually in Santa Monica.
We're in Santa Monica. That's perfect. We're at the end of the pier.
We're at the end of the pier. The reason we're in Santa Monica is that last week we talked about Tyra Banks opening Model Land, and it turns out that Model Land, which was her theme park, will be in the Santa Monica Mall. And so this is as close to getting us to the Santa Monica Mall is as close as I could get us to being in Model Land.
Yeah, but like right down the street, like right off of that corner, you walk down and you're on a pier and you can go fishing.
I love it. And
so
it's all coming full circle. It's all coming full circle. That's right, baby. So we're going to do the drawing for our first giveaway ever tomorrow, but we'll be having more and more giveaways the longer we do our promotional pushes. So you're always going to want to check in on our Instagram and see what you need to follow or tag in order to get entered into a giveaway. It's like the easiest thing on the planet.
And I'm so freaking excited.
It's really
about
fun.
it. I can't wait.
It's really fun.
How are we going to notify the winner tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to DM the winner.
We're going to DM you.
We're going to slide into your DMs.
With free shit.
With free stuff for you just for listening to us.
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
I love it.
I love it too. So the other thing that you mentioned that you love talking about Bravo TV with
Carly.
With your girl Carly. So I was watching, as you know, I'm obsessed with Below Deck, which also airs on Bravo. The last couple of seasons I've been a little mad because I really live for the reunion show.
Yeah.
And the first 3 seasons, they had the reunion show, and it was like so great to get everyone stirred. And then they stopped for the next 2, and now I'm on the 6th season, and I can see it, the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a reunion show coming. So just need to like burn through all these episodes, get to know who's who, who's fucking who's doing what, so that I can catch them up on the reunion and see what happens. So I'm very excited about that.
Heidi, I cheated.
What?
So I have never watched Below Deck. That has never just made it into my repertoire. Not because I have any contempt prior to investigation for it.
You have a huge repertoire.
It's just purely, it hasn't fit. But I listened to Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop podcast, and she has interviewed Riley and Caroline.
Yeah.
And so just because listening to their interviews, I got some of the dirt.
Yes.
And I got some of the 411. So I jumped ahead and I watched the reunion.
No, you didn't.
I did.
We're following Riley. All Gold Pod is following Riley's account, by the way.
Oh, good. Do we like Riley?
I mean, yeah, she provides a lot of drama.
Riley, she's from Alaska, and she's like, I'm from Alaska. We're badass. I spit. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't know why. It seems to me in every clip she's wearing the same pair of shorts.
Yeah, because they have to wear is it from when she's working on the boat, or is it when they're out dancing?
It's like all the time. I did hear on the reunion, or was it Heather McDonald? I did hear that there is some controversy around her bralessness.
Yeah, she does not care for bras at all.
Yeah,
no,
but
she's never wearing a
her
bra.
response to that was, well, at least my nipples were hard.
Yeah.
So I guess that's an Alaska thing. I mean, if you're from Alaska, you probably pretty much always have hard nipples.
I would imagine. I'm also wondering, she might have had a boob job, which if you have a boob job, do you even need a bra anymore? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't think you do.
So if I had a boob job, I don't think I'd ever wear a bra because they're like perky and round or whatever without any help.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I mean, is that why we wear bras?
I don't know. Why do we wear bras?
Today on All Gold Everything, we don't actually know the purpose of a bra. Apparently. I don't know. It's a good question. Anyway, Riley and Caroline.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were rooming together this season, and there is some drama. So I can't wait to see the reunion stuff.
I feel like already it's an interesting study in personalities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So while I was watching Below Deck today, there was an ad for a new show on Bravo called Mexican Dynasties.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm here for it because I love rich people of all cultures. Like, I want to see what rich Mexican people do. I want to see what rich Iranian people do. I just want to see what rich people do. That's all I want to see.
Okay. So there is a certain amount of wish fulfillment in watching rich people that I derive pleasure from, and I totally am with you on that. That is not my excitement about Mexican Dynasties.
Oh, okay. What are you excited about for it?
Oh, I think that Americans need to get on, like, becoming fanboys of Mexican culture.
Yeah, I agree.
We're
I agree.
A situation right now in our culture where we're getting like this more and more people thinking it's cool to be like super nationalist. So I think by putting Mexican Dynasties on Bravo and making, these fucking white people want to appropriate Mexican culture instead of hate it.
Yeah.
Or really just I'm in real life just being like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Everyone's a human.
Everyone's a human.
Yeah, like
they're cool, they're funny, they're shallow, they're deep, they're just like us.
Exactly.
But I think that the way that Bravo portrays sort of like the wish fulfillment and the glamour, I think it will be a good PR push for Mexican culture, and I think that we need it so bad right now. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, you and I should be early adopters for Mexican Dynasties.
Yes.
I mean, I love Shaws of Sunset. I don't watch it regularly enough to know all the characters, but anytime I can catch it, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Shaws of Sunset.
I love Shaws of Sunset.
It's amazing. And, surprisingly, like, I don't consider myself particularly sheltered. I've done a fair amount of travel. I haven't done any travel to the Middle East, however, or to any Persian cultures. But I learned a lot. Like, there are a lot of episodes on Shaws of Sunset that are around, like, Persian holiday, like, different holidays that I knew nothing about. So it's like, I'm going to say that it was educational.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's the same thing when I'm saying with Mexican Dynasties. Right, exactly. It's just like let's open the box of other cultures and look at them in a sort of like glamorous light or just a different light. Like, it's not anything,
even just like a non-threatening light. Like, here it is, like, this is so goofy and so out there and so crazy. And of course, like, some of it's put on, some of the drama, some of the whatever, how real is that? But also it's like very approachable. It's like very consumer friendly of like, there's really nothing to be, And
I follow Reza on Shaws of Sunset. And he's posted a few things about he's been moved from some of the feedback that he has gotten from, kind of people who felt like they were pretty ignorant to other cultures. And then they watched Shaws of Sunset and they really had like a transitional experience. And
that's amazing.
How they approach other cultures.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is our language. This is how we learn in today's society. Yeah. So
it's this and emojis.
This and emojis. Emojis of all colors.
Which I did decide that there is an emoji. There are a couple of emojis that are missing.
Oh,
like there's not. I don't think there's a milkshake emoji, and I don't think there's like a curly hair emoji because somebody was making fun of my hair on Instagram this week. An old pal of mine was making fun of my curly hair, and I wanted to Instagram a curly wig, or you know what I mean. And there was no curls to be found anywhere, and I was like, oh man.
I'm telling you, they keep that shit tight for a reason.
They do.
The emoji queen in the emoji castle has like a
dictatorship.
Fucking agenda.
It is not a democracy. Not a democracy. Well, while we're on the topic of TV, there's another show that you and I have both been watching this week. It's on Netflix. It is fucked up.
It's good.
It's called You.
It's called You.
Okay. Do you want to go first? I need a screenshot.
Do you want? Okay, so it's like, where do I begin?
Okay, well, I want to say that this show is creepy. It would be creepier if it was like if it wasn't. It's a scripted TV show, so it's not based on a true story. It's not like a adaptation of something that really happened, which I kind of feel like is a little unfortunate because it'd be so creepy.
Oh, it's happened in real life.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And
it's Gossip Girl meets Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
And I have some things about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump into my criticisms, or do you want to do more of like a global book report?
Well, let's do the criticism. Let's get deep on this for real. Let's talk about it.
So I got hooked immediately because of the creepy factor. Like from the jump, Dan, I call him Dan. He was Dan in Gossip Girl, but he's Joe in this.
Yes, and he's in real life, he's Penn Badgley.
Okay.
So he commonly is cast as typecast as this outsider. He was this outsider character in Gossip Girl, and I feel like
and didn't he turn out to be Gossip Girl?
he did.
Yeah.
So he's typecast. I almost have a feeling about him that I have about Jason Bateman, which I kind of feel bad about this because I'm sure he's a very nice guy. But like Jason Bateman is always Jason Bateman. He has the best job in the world because he just shows up to a movie set acting like himself. And I feel like Penn Badgley does the same. Like I don't feel like this was an acting stretch for Penn Badgley.
No, Dan is Joe and Joe is Dan, and it's probably because they're both Penn.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So I felt like I was watching Gossip Girl, and so anyway, so it starts off. It hooked me quickly because it's creepy. It's like straight up stalker shit, and so I got hooked and I was in. But then I started like about halfway through, I was getting bored and irritated because Dan and Beck have no fucking chemistry. Beck is insufferable. Her writing sucks. And she really needs to just fucking be single.
Agreed.
And all this stuff about, and I don't know who I am. It's like, no, you don't. So just fucking stop the series now.
Yeah.
Just end it.
I agree. I found myself having some anger about it as well, about like how annoyed I was. Books play a huge, in the kind of constructed connection.
I'm really uptight right now. Okay, go on.
In the constructed connection that Netflix has to make for these two to come together, they meet in a bookstore and they all have this. They both have this like in-depth love of books, and I just wanted to. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Like, come on, like nobody loves books anymore. Wait a minute.
I mean, you do. People do.
People do. I'm among them.
Even
I do
some millennials do. Like, there are even people studying literature today.
That's true.
But it is unbelievable because she's a shitty fucking writer. Yeah. And she's and if you're saying like I don't know who I am and all this stuff, then you're probably a shitty fucking writer. Yeah. Too.
Yeah. It's true. You have to have something pretty crystallized to put it out there.
Yeah. And like, so at the end where she wrote her like, Blackbeard is Prince Charming. I wanted to punch the TV. I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever sat and watched. So it started out good. I got hooked, and then I just stuck with it just to be on the train. And I
we talked about talking about it.
Yeah, totally suspended disbelief, and did kind of enjoy it. It kind of got back on track. It had this lull, and then it got back on track. Because then when they broke up, he suddenly stopped being crazy. So he's like this crazy, insufferable stalker who like murders people for her. And then they break up and he's like, well, I'm just going to get rid of the phone. And I'm just going to, all of a sudden do all this unbelievable healthy plot shit. Twist.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but she wanted him back. So that it's like, at the end, can we give away the spoiler? You haven't gotten to the end. I don't
know. Let me tell you, there will be a spoiler because I'm about to tell Sandy where I'm at on it.
Okay.
So he has killed her.
Okay.
And her books come out.
Yes.
And they arrested the therapist. And
yes.
Is this the last episode? There can't be that much more. Right.
It's the last episode.
Oh, yeah. And the neighbors are moving to California.
Right.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen most of it.
Yeah, so apparently there's going to be a second season.
What?
Yeah, because Candace comes back at the very end.
Oh, that's right. I saw that right before I left the house today, and I was like, oh my God, that I do kind of like, because he had thought that he'd killed this ex-girlfriend.
But it didn't show it, though, did it? It just showed him kill the guy, her music producer guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it never showed him kill her, so it actually never... I don't know why there was this big surprise that she was alive because it never said that he killed her.
Right.
And it never showed it. Mm-hmm. But you know what? When Beck died, I was like, meh. I mean, she kind of like bought that ticket to,
Yeah, it was
ticket to nowhere herself. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, this is a fictional series. This is fictional. I would never say that about a true survivor or sufferer of domestic violence and stalkerism.
No, we would not.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is that, in the end, what he does is he locks her in this room and he takes away all of her distractions and he tells her that she has to write, and then she writes something because she kind of has this like Stockholm syndrome thing going, or she's putting on the best show she can to like make him think that she's into it as well. And so she writes this book that he ends up publishing for her posthumously, whatever. But it made me think, like, one of my experience, what's happening for me right now, of course I brought this back to me. What's happening for me right now
is Are you being stalked?
No, but I'm writing a book.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's really hard to fucking shut your shit down and just write what you need to write, like to just focus. Like a large part of the story arc through the entire 10 episodes is that like she can't get her shit together to just like do some writing.
Well, because she's too busy fucking dating.
She's fucking
Dan
everyone
and fucking her therapist, and she's like, I just don't have time to write.
Well, and it's funny because when I finished my first draft and I had like about 40,000 words, I mean, I posted something on social because I was like, honestly, the biggest challenge to this has been just doing it. Just actually doing it, shutting off the TV, putting my phone in airplane mode, getting to a place where I don't have any Wi-Fi, and just like opening Word or whatever and starting to crank it out because like so I did find like some interesting pieces on like the way that she's really distracted, but I don't know that that's like actually supposed to be a part of the point of it. But anyway,
no, I mean, I definitely. So it's funny because I had a lot of personal reflections too. You know, she is a person who she always felt outside of because she was like kind of like more of a middle class person who went to Brown, and my daughter goes to Brown, and my daughter's sort of in the same situation. She got to Brown and she realized like, oh my God, all these people, like there's this incredible wealth everywhere, and I am an outsider because I have to work. I have to have a job.
Yeah.
And so she had that same experience. I related to that. My daughter's also she's a double major, but one of her majors is literature. And my daughter's an excellent writer. And so there were some parallels there. And so that was like kind of interesting, especially like because I've been hearing about some of her classes. And you know, the small group class that she's in with the character who I really was fascinated by.
The
like
woman, Blythe is the character's name?
I kind of think I have a girl crush on Blythe.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing in the show.
I'm attracted to her. Yeah. She's
got great hair.
And I loved her at the end.
Yeah.
She was good. And so it's like I'm kind of imagining where my daughter is there. But at the same time, there's also this piece about her father in recovery. And her father went into recovery and basically got this whole new life.
Yeah.
And that actually really was incredibly relatable to me, having this dynamic between the father and the now adult daughter and the adult daughter not fitting in. And I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And so my daughter's watching it too. And so we're like kind of talking about this stuff, and it is really interesting. And the only thing my daughter could say is she's like, I'm not as shitty a writer as Beck is. She's not.
I was irritated by the fact that the character's name is Guinevere Beck, and she just goes around, she's like, just call me Beck. Like I was irritated by that. Like
her whole character was the most insufferable character on TV right now.
Yeah, agreed. If you want to see the most insufferable character on TV right now, tune into you. Are there any other thoughts that you have about the series before we move to the next topic?
No, I think I covered all my complaints and even my compliments.
There's one last TV related thing that I want to cover. I think we have the photos for it. The Grammys were this week.
Oh, let's do this.
Yeah, so Grammy fashion was big. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to have Mark put up, actually, well, he's got the first one up, which is J-Lo. I sent him this picture because
that was J-Lo, and who else was with J-Lo?
And Lady Gaga.
Okay, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Does that fucking look like Lady Gaga to you? Does that fucking look like Lady Gaga to you?
I know. It was
Lady Gaga, put down the fucking filler. Put down the filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good, you're beautiful, but guess what? I don't know who the fuck's in that picture.
It is hard to tell.
I can't even tell if that's J-Lo. What's with the hat?
That was my problem. I loved everything about J-Lo. I saw her performance at the Grammys. She did a Motown tribute, which had some people hopping around because she's Latina as opposed to being from, Motown is traditionally African American, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really care. She did amazing. I thought it was like the most incredible singing I've ever heard her do. It was amazing. I was so disappointed by this hat because I love J-Lo in a white column dress. The dress is gorgeous. The hat I felt like was so distracting.
Okay, so J-Lo just recently posted this thirst trap picture on Instagram, and like she's like
abs?
50 something and her body's banging.
It's crazy.
I don't think this dress does anything for her. It's a gorgeous dress, but it doesn't like. I'd rather see her in her leggings in the thirst trap photo.
In this particular photo, maybe it's the pose. I don't know, but the cream. When I saw her do some interviews on the red carpet, I was blown away by the cream. But
yeah,
I agree.
Who is that next to her?
It's Lady Gaga.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the next picture. In the next photo, this was everyone was into wearing a lot of structured dresses. So this is Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner.
Who's that? Who's that girl?
Also with the fillers.
Kylie Jenner. God damn it. Put down the filler. She's starting to look like my little sister Michelle.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow. That's true. I have only met Michelle once, but you're right.
Yeah. She's starting to look like Michelle.
Heart-shaped face. I will say the thing about this outfit is like, it was a huge trend for the night, this giant stuff off the shoulders. Listen, I'm begging you. I cannot have shoulder. I can't take it. I cannot have shoulder pads. I can't add anything to these shoulders.
This is like a combination of both of our nightmares. Like a cold shoulder with like a huge shoulder pad.
Cold shoulder.
Kylie is fucking with us right now.
How is that even possible? A cold shoulder sweater and shoulder pads.
Because whoever this designer is listens to All Gold Pod and is like, I'm gonna fuck with those bitches.
I'm dead. I can't even.
We inspired a fashion designer.
Oh hell yeah. Let's own that.
Yeah.
Let's own that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that.
Can I just say one more? Oh hell no.
One more thing about Kylie.
I'm gonna go back real quick to Kylie because I am here for the big baggy trouser.
That's a challenge for me, but I can get on board with it.
I am here for it. And we were interviewing resident candidates today, and I definitely picked a favorite, and I had like really legitimate reasons, but also I'm like, did you see her pants?
Fashion counts. It counts for something.
Yes, I'm here for the big. And you should have seen what I wore today. I looked adorable.
I'm just gonna say my only problem with the trouser pants. I love I love a full leg, but I do have it's tough for me when it's loose around the waist because I carry my weight around the waist anyway, so I need it to be like a little fitted up there. Anyway. Okay, so the next picture that we have is Cardi B. This is Cardi. One of the red carpet announcers was like, this is a great outfit because it like automatically builds in space around you, like no one can get near you.
Okay.
So it was apparently a vintage, I can't remember the name of the designer. It was a vintage piece. It is like an incredible piece of art. She didn't wear it all night. She did switch into something else, but I mean, I can't even...
It looks impossible to wear.
I know. And her husband, Culture, was having a horrible time trying to like hold her hand or escort her down the carpet.
Is that her son, Culture?
No, her daughter. She has a daughter. Oh, wait. Maybe her daughter's name is Culture.
Offset.
Offset. Husband Offset. Boyfriend? Partner.
Pal. Baby daddy.
Baby daddy. Anyway, she won.
Look at me.
Yeah, killing it, Sandy. She won the Grammy for Best New Rap Album she's the first female rap artist to win that the award in that category.
Cardi B's coming up. Do you remember Cardi B on Love and Hip Hop?
I do not.
Cardi
I might have to go back and
Cardi B has come up.
Yeah. So
I mean, I hope this isn't offensive, but Homegirl was a hood rat. And look at her.
Look at her now. Actually, when she was doing her acceptance speech was adorable. She was really speechless, and it was really sweet to see that moment for her. And I did say to Jeff, like, I hope somebody makes a life story out. I hope they make a movie out of her life story because I have a feeling that it's like completely incredible. I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then the last one is Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
And this again is this shoulder trend of like.
Yeah.
This is also maybe inspired by All Gold Pod. She's got almost nothing on her shoulders, and yet her shoulder pads go up to her hat.
So I noticed this. I was watching Pump Rules. And no, it was actually the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They had like a pajama party, and for some reason, none of the women could wear shirts that actually stayed up over like their breasts.
Yeah,
and it was like this.
Yeah,
and it was not flattering. Not flattering. She looks. I mean, it's more flattering on her.
Yeah.
She's not a 50-year-old Real Housewife of Atlanta. Yeah, but the shoulders are a little bit high for my taste.
I agree. It's very structured, I think is what they call it. So anyway, those are the top 4 out. I mean, the rest of it was pretty forgettable, frankly. So I thought those were the biggest.
What was your favorite?
Thing that I saw on the red carpet? I don't know. It was all like, meh.
It's weird Lady Gaga wasn't at the Grammys.
She was.
I never saw her. I just didn't see her. It's so weird.
So weird.
I mean, she should.
So strange.
That's so weird.
So strange. Okay, so then the other thing, I have a couple other things here for us to chit chat about, but I will tell you, we are getting about halfway through the show, and we have like a legit topic to talk about. I want to talk about one other thing though, which is that this week Kamala Harris admitted that she smoked pot while she was listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg in the 90s.
Do we even care anymore?
I know that. Okay, so that's really interesting. I have to say, like, does anyone care about this? But of course, people care about it. She was on a radio show and she gave an interview and she said, I smoked pot. Yes, I inhaled. It was the late 80s, early 90s, blah, blah, blah. So people are kind of having a field day with it. My thought about it was, she was like, she said, we should legalize it. Pot brings joy to a lot of people. A lot of people love it, blah, blah, blah. I think she said we should legalize. I can't remember exactly what her stance on legalization was, but I just felt like you know, she was like, that was years ago. I haven't done that in years. And I just feel like every politician has to be like, oh, it was 15 years ago that I, like, come on. Can everyone just like, oh.
I was going to say, when you said 80s or 90s, I'm like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. You know, so many people. It's become, I mean, yeah.
I just feel like, can we just be honest about it? Because, I mean, the alcoholic in me is like, there's no way that anyone quits doing drugs 15 years before they get into politics. You know what I mean? Like, why would I don't believe it. I just feel like,
well, I mean, I believe it, but I don't care. And I don't think it's worth lying about. And I do think it's entirely possible she still smokes pot. I think it's entirely possible Michelle and Barack Obama are high right now. And I don't think that like changes, you know, what they are able to contribute.
I agree.
I think that probably Donald Trump should probably get high. I mean, don't you think?
He might have a cocaine problem with the sniffing.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about marijuana.
Yeah,
I'm talking about marijuana. And I mean, I think that he could use like a big bong hit from time to time. Yeah. Is what I'm saying.
I agree.
So why do we care, I guess is my question.
It's not getting a ton of traction, but I just felt like, you know, I understand that politics is like a game of moderation. Everyone has to play to the middle to get the most votes. But I just feel like I wish there was some space where everyone just be like, listen, everyone smokes pot, everyone drinks, everyone, you know, whatever. Like,
it's funny that you can like be overtly, outwardly racist, but you have to say that you haven't smoked pot in 20 years
or however long. It's crazy to me.
Weird.
Okay, and then finally, the last thing I want to talk about is that there was a story in the Oregonian today about a transient man who got disrupted by a construction worker who had a leaf blower and attacked him with a hatchet. And got some jail time for it. And I just want to say that last week we covered a story about like a gal who found a guy living in her dorm room in her closet. And I just want to be like, fuck a guy living in your closet. Like, this is the kind of thing we're talking about in Southeast Portland. Like, a hatchet attack because of a leaf blower. Like, it's the Wild West out there sometimes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing is I think that, like, I got into it on the Nextdoor app.
Yeah. Good for you.
I do. I love
it.
I love like my outlet. So we were asking residency candidates about their outlets for stress. Like, if I had to be honest about my outlet for stress, it is like starting shit on the Nextdoor app. Yes. It is like calling out motherfuckers on the Nextdoor app.
I love it so much.
And they see my picture and they know where I live, kind of almost. And I'm like, come to my house.
Yeah.
But basically, it's like there's this whole like push towards compassion for homeless people, which I think is appropriate to have compassion for homeless people, but we also need to be realistic about the crime associated with homelessness, and that they are all packing, because to live in a homeless camp is dangerous, and to go to sleep in a homeless camp, you're worried about waking up to somebody attacking you, robbing you, and so therefore these people, who a large proportion of them are mentally ill, are on drugs, are packing weapons, and they do have hatchets, so that if they're woke up by a damn leaf blower, they're going to lose their shit with hatchet in hand. Yeah. And that's a fucking problem, my friends.
Agreed. Okay. I agree.
So,
we're on the same page on that one. So fuck a guy living in your closet. Come hang out at Sandy's neighborhood.
Welcome to Southeast Portland.
Hell yeah. And we live in like a nice, anyway. Okay.
We live in a nice place. We do, but you know, everything's changing. We were where what is once residential is now we have to admit to ourselves. So here's where acceptance comes in. We have to admit to ourselves that we live in a big city, in a metropolitan area, and this is part and parcel of where we're choosing to live.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want me to go into politics?
Yeah, I do. That'd be so fun. Sandy for 2020. Yeah.
I haven't smoked pot in like,
I know, the nice thing about being sober, it's like, I know I haven't done shit around any kind of illegal drugs since 11.
Like 25 years. No, I haven't smoked pot in like 25 years. So vote for me. Okay.
All right. Tonight, because our episode it's Valentine's Day today. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So is the day before Valentine's Day supposed to be Galentine's?
Yes.
So you hang out with your girls the day before, and then you hang out with your sweet love the next day?
That's right.
But what if you don't have a sweet love? Then it's like you do Galentine's
double
twice.
It up. Yeah.
Okay.
Back to back Galentine's Day.
Or I've done a lot of Galentine's Day on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think I have too.
Yeah.
Okay, so our topic for the evening, the one we want to talk about, because it's Valentine's Day, we love, is we want to talk about soulmates.
Soulmates. Yeah.
That was practiced. We practiced that quite a bit. So Sandy and I were texting about the topic this week, and you were like, what if we hit up soulmates? And so that's kind of where it landed for us. I figured, do you want to lead us off on this? Like, give us the lowdown on soulmates. You got your soulmate in the house. You got your soulmate person and your soulmate animal. Weebay is not your. Sorry, I really should clarify. Sandy's dog Weebay is in the studio.
He is. And what I've learned this week is he doesn't love me as much as he loves my husband.
That's because your husband spends every damn day with every second of every day with him.
Acceptance is the answer, but I'm currently in the guilting him phase. I'm making him feel incredibly guilty about it.
See how well that works.
So I just picked up Time Magazine, put out sort of a special edition that is like called The Science of Marriage.
Ooh.
And
I didn't read it.
So Joey and I spent some time starting to read it, and it kind of mentioned something about soulmates and the introductory stuff. And so then Joey and I got in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do it. We read about marriage and then we get naked.
That's so smart. And, is there a better way? Is there another way?
Or did we get naked and then read about marriage? I don't remember. It was all a blur. An incredible blur.
The way it should be.
But so we were talking, and I think like the way it probably came up, I was like, are we soulmates? Do you believe in soulmates? Like, that's the way it kind of...
was like, this feels like a trap.
No, because that's not how we roll.
I'm just kidding. I was only messing. I'm sorry.
It's not how we communicate in our relationship. No, because like he's like, oh, he is my soulmate. He's like, no, me. No, it was like the way it was framed, because I was really kind of thinking on this soulmate proposition, and I know that like my mom got into this really like new agey spirituality when I was a teenager, and I know that she had books about soulmates and believed in soulmates. And I've never really hung my hat on the idea of soulmates, never really knew how I felt about it. And so now that like I'm deeply in love and I'm married to the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and I feel this like incredible connection, sometimes like we're like becoming one person.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there in the bath with him, and it's like, the questions coming up are we soulmates? And the way that I keep like coming back to phrasing it is like, I wanted to ask him, like, do you believe in soulmates? Like, is it something you believe in? Like, I believe in ghosts. Right. I believe in the supernatural. I believe in soulmates. Yeah. And so that was kind of like where the questions started percolating.
What a beautiful starting place. I really like that.
So do you believe in soulmates?
Well, I have to say I do. I mean, the working title of my book is called Relationship Ready: How I Stopped Fucking Randos and Started Cupcaking My Soulmate. You know, I really do believe in soulmates. I was thinking about it, and like, is the answer as simple as yes?
Could be.
I think that it does.
Then what the fuck are we going to talk about for 20 minutes?
I do think that there is a space for a little bit of qualification, and I wrote this in my book as well, which is I do think that there are that we have many soulmates. Like, I think there's more than one.
But does not defeat the definition of soulmate.
Well, I think like that I'm not sure. Okay, so I didn't check the working definition of soulmate with you, but I just feel like
you have.
I just feel like, you know, I feel like the concept of soulmates is like two souls that are meant to come together, that are really meant to meld together, that are really meant to experience this life together. And maybe it's just, and I guess now that I'm explaining it to you, I'm realizing that the connotation is that would last forever. And I just feel like that. I was thinking about it because I was like, you know, I know that Jeff is my soulmate, like for this, you know, that for the way I feel about it now is like, he's my soulmate. I met him now. I don't plan on being soulmates with anyone else, like in the way that I'm.
I like it. You don't plan on being soulmates.
But then I was like, but then I was thinking that like you and I are soulmates in a way too, right? Because like we met in a way that I feel like it was important, you know, that it was like almost like destiny for us to meet the way that we did, and that it was laid out for us that way, and then to go on and do this together, and to have like a really deep and entwined and meaningful friendship where we both get to grow and like learn from each other and push each other to grow in different ways. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of, I didn't set it up very well, and I am acknowledging the shortcomings of kind of my way of I put it out there, but I do feel like I have some women in my life who are soulmates to me on like a deep level of friendship, and then like I feel like Jeff is my romantic partner, my romantic soulmate for the foreseeable, you know, in perpetuity. And so that's kind of how I feel about that, and I guess that's where I wanted to just kind of, I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, so like I said, I had some exposure to the concept early from my mom, and she had the, when like, I think it was like the late 80s where it was like really popular to like be like super new agey, and Soulmates was a big part of that. Yeah. And I had some exposure to that, but then Joey and we also were doing this night school. What is it called? It was like night school spirit, huh? SEEL. Anyway, it was like this kind of like spiritual night school we went to, and we talked about,
that's awesome.
We talked about old writings and how it comes into like how we work as humans today. And like one of the first talks, the Father Gans, it was through St. Ignatius Catholic Church, but it wasn't Jesus-y. It was really just about old philosophical script.
Sure. Or
ancient texts, if you will.
Old ancient texts.
Those texts from the X's.
Yeah.
And so he talked about Plato's Symposium papers. And this was like kind of like, I need to look at Joey for like remembering, but basically like Plato way back in like one of the first human philosophical writings talked about like man being four-armed, four-legged, two-faced entity, right? And it was Zeus who just like as an act of spite or whatever split them in half.
Oh, okay.
And the idea of soulmates was basically like that one person coming, back together. Yeah. And I'm probably totally butchering that. So any scholars out there,
we could have Fred Bushy fact check it for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is like the high points that I remember, and this was over a year ago, but I remembered that, and I can't remember like where Father Gans went with it, but it stuck in my mind, like kind of like reaffirming what a soulmate means to me. And so I've always definitely been under the impression, and this is the problem I have with the concept of soulmates, is that there's only one.
Yeah.
And so I think therein lies the rub of why I'm asking, do you believe in soulmates? Because if there's multiple, like I do believe that spiritually there are people and energies that are meant to cross your path at a certain time for a reason. And I believe that is so true with like you and I.
I'm on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I also like my best like love dating advice that I give to my daughter is you can fall in love with anyone, pick someone appropriate.
Yeah. I love that. That's so responsible.
Yeah. Well, but it is because like the truth is we can. And while I know that like Joey is the perfect person for me, and I know that when like we first met and we were falling deeply, so I have to preface by saying when I asked Joey if we were soulmates, he was like, hell to the yeah, boo. But
no hesitation.
And I know that there were times when I felt so deeply like, holy shit, how did I find this guy? Why is he so perfect for me? This must have been like some type of dynamic universal intervention, or else I never would have found him. Yeah. But then the practical side of me is like, I probably would have found someone like him. I mean, but I do believe that there are many people who could fill that role. Like it's tough for me. It's tough for me to say that there is only one, and if you don't find them, you're fucked.
I think what you're saying.
Why do we all find them?
I think what you're saying is really accurate. I love this. One of the things I love about having a personal development section on this show with you is that I feel like I always start out way over here, and then by the time we're done, I'm like, well, actually, it's interesting because I do agree with what you're saying, that I think we can fall in love with anyone, so we should choose appropriately. But I don't know if that means that just because I fall in love with someone doesn't necessarily mean they're my soulmate. So I feel like that's a good qualifier, right? Like I can fall in love with anyone. I have fallen in love with people who were not my soulmate. And hearing you talk about the description of like Zeus splitting the entity into two made me really think about, for me, I feel like if it was my own personal story, if I could rewrite it, I would have Zeus shatter it. And then like, it's just like every when I think of having multiple soulmates, I think of like people those energies coming back to me and like all of it getting put back together, all of the slices coming back together. Because I was thinking about my familial relationships, and I have, you and I have seen a reader who we like very much named Jody, and Jody and I have talked extensively about how my relationship with my father is tremendously deep, and even though he's gone, like his and my souls have been connected for a very long time, back and back and back and back, and I truly deeply feel that about him, even though he is obviously my dad, not like a romantic partner. And the same with my relationship with my mom has move towards that as well, where it's like, oh, she and I have known each other for a very long time, and I feel like our souls are really deeply connected too. And so and so there are a lot of different players in my life where I feel like, oh, we're definitely, you're another piece of this puzzle. My dad's a piece of this puzzle. My husband's a piece of this puzzle. Maybe my stepdaughter's a piece of this puzzle. Like, I'm just starting to feel like there are certain, that I am also on board with what you're saying about like these energies crossing our paths for a certain reason and helping us in these, you know, and like kind of connecting deep. And I guess maybe that's really where I come down on it, that I guess I interpret soulmate really as meaning this like really deep and really meaningful, intimate connection.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like you don't think there's only one.
I don't think there's only one.
Yeah.
I do think I'm married to one of my soulmates right now. Like, I do think Jeff is one of my soulmates.
Yeah. I think if we were like more deeper into like the spiritual aspect, or maybe if I ever picked up any of those books my mom had and read them, I think that there's like kind of, like this has already been written, like there for how you're describing your mom and your dad, that there are roles within that spiritual connection that are separate from soulmate.
Yeah.
I do think that soulmate is something kind of separate from those that kind of walk alongside us spiritually as well. I just don't know that either of us, no.
I don't know. I think where I'm willing to come down on this one is I think lots of soulmates. I think I believe in the concept of soulmates.
Oh, so you're just going with like, no, I'm just have lots of soulmates.
Yeah.
I am defying the definition of soulmate, that by definition there's only one, and I'm saying no.
Yeah.
There are multiple.
Multiple soulmates for me.
Okay.
That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
No, that's what we're here for on All Good Gold Pod, because who knows?
Controversial.
No, I mean,
it's not controversial.
Wow. You just broke the internet with your controversial.
I know.
No, but that's, I think what it really comes down to is how you view your relationships and your connections, and
right.
There's no right or wrong.
Well, and one of the things I think that is so critical to the definition, or my new definition of soulmates.
There's a lot of willfulness in your part of your conference, because you're making Zeus shatter you. Yeah. You're deciding you're going to have multiple soulmates.
Yeah, multiple
If you
pieces.
would have it, there's a lot. I want you to listen back to this. I want you to rewind this tape and see how you are constructing it all.
Yes. Are we still friends though if I reconstruct it this way?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sometimes I get worried.
Fun. Yeah, I have no criteria. I'm not grading you. I am simply learning about you.
I do feel like that one of the pieces of this is about this kind of deep and meaningful intimacy, and I do think that is something that I have in these relationships that I consider soulmate level relationships. I do really feel like that piece is so important, that's part of what defines it. The ability to have like tough conversations, or the ability to like hold space for someone while they grow, or the ability to show up in a deep and meaningful way, or an intimate way, rather than I don't know where I'm going with this. I digress. The point is, lots of soulmates for Heidi B. Love you all.
And I think that I'll just go out on faith, because everything with my relationship with Joey has been me like wanting to step out on faith, because I think that he's real and worth it. So with regard to soulmate, I would much rather be like, yes, he's my soulmate, than reserve and be like, well, I don't know, maybe not. Like, why not just say, yes, he's my soulmate, and then just like live in that extra level of comfort and joy that gives me, that universally, like, not only do we work well together on this plane, but universally that we are, that we are connected, and we're really walking in our true path.
Oh, girl, that's beautiful. I like that.
He good.
That's good.
He good. I found a good one.
I love it. Well, are you guys, speaking of Valentine's Day, are you guys big Valentinesers? Are you guys going to do anything?
So this has been like how we roll on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I think since we met, although I was trying to, so we have Joey's birthday, and then we have Christmas, and we tend to, no matter how hard we try, we tend to get pretty extravagant with both of those. And so ever since we've met, Valentine's Day, we've tried to just make like low key and about us spending time together and getting romantic. And so tomorrow I'm just going to make him dinner and hope that we have like really good sex.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we usually do it.
Yeah.
But the other thing was, we were talking today, and he was like, like, but did I give you like that really nice bracelet on Valentine's Day? I'm like, I don't know. So I think that sometimes like there might be more of that mixed in, but we kind of like let off the any requirements for
sure,
any,
no
like,
pressure.
Yeah, and it is about just us being together and fed and naked.
Oh, I love that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. All right.
What about you?
I don't know what we're going to do. Usually actually it's kind of funny hearing you say like, well, first the way that kind of life and celebrations in this time of year, right? So it's like it's kind of the same thing where it's like Christmas time, and then Jeff's daughter's birthday was last week, and so usually actually his dad's here for that, and so like we haven't had a year where we really were like, this is what we're gonna, we haven't like set up any kind of like tradition for ourselves yet, because usually we're like doing some aftermath of birthday stuff. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do tomorrow, but we're going to do something. And I'm also hoping that we are naked and having sex. That would be good.
Yeah.
I just got a little blush saying that on looking at myself say that on video.
That's funny.
That's cute.
That's funny.
Love it. Love you. Anyway, that's all that I've got for tonight. It's kind of a I'm ready to. Are you ready to wrap it up, or you want to add anything else?
No.
Right.
I mean, unless there's anything. I mean, we're two partnered women talking about Valentine's Day, and we're like, oh, we're gonna eat and have sex. And I'll just go ahead and say that I had many Valentine's days where this was not the case, and there is also nothing better than just taking care of yourself on Valentine's Day.
Agreed.
And hanging out with your homegirls or homeboys on Valentine's Day. And just there's a lot of like love to go around, and it doesn't actually have to be romantic love.
It's true. I love it. Well, we're sending you love, light, and gold from Portland, and reminding you to
stay vigilant.
Peace.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.